Okay, you know you need to use AI. You know it's going to help you with your business. You might be a little afraid of it because you don't want it to replace you or become obsolete. And so in this video, we are going to talk about using AI as the tool and resource that it is meant to be, and not a replacement for the human brain and experiences. So let's get into it. I'm Drozak, and I help businesses harness AI to use as a thinking agent and not as a complete replacement. Okay, but before we begin, let's put the cards on the table. So when you're using AI, you need to treat it like a team member or an employee. If you don't give it some parameters and context and instruction, it is not going to give you the results that you hope for or are thinking will be helpful. Instead, it will become frustrating. It's like a bad team member who doesn't want to do their job. Is that they're not doing their job because they don't know how to do it, or is they're not doing their job because they just don't want to? So when you start to think of using ChatGPT or Claude or any of the other AI in that context, it becomes a little more clear of how you can train it to work best with you. So for example, you know the saying garbage in, garbage out. Same thing here. If you don't get specific and tell it what you need, it's going to just spew whatever it wants out. It's going to be random and unfocused, and 9 times out of 10, it will not be helpful to you, or it won't be in the direction that you're hoping for. So what you want to do is you want to, one, properly train your bot or your AI by using memories. So ChatGPT uses memories. Claude uses artifacts. They're not the same thing. Memories are a combination of all of the conversations that you have with it, where archives are specific to the context that you give it. Okay, so what do I mean by give it context or train it? It just means that you need to give it instructions, resources, and information that is going to help you to better structure the outcome that you're trying to give it. So we want to create an SOP. We're going to say, I need to create a billing SOP. Okay, so it's real generic, right? And so we're going to put that in there, and it's going to tell you it's thinking, and then it's going to create something. It has no context. It is going to just randomly put something out there, right? In short, invoices are generated, yada, yada, yada. It gives you rules, definitions, etc. And then it goes into the procedure, but the procedure is kind of generic. Open your invoicing tool and then submit the draft to the approver, because it now thinks like you're in a corporate environment where somebody has to approve the invoice. So what you need to do is, again, give it some more context. So instead of just putting generic in, you could say something like, I need to create a billing process for my clients using Stripe as the processor. Okay, now it's a little more detailed because it's telling you need a billing process for the clients and you are using Stripe. And so what it's going to do is it's going to add that context to it, and it's going to look at Stripe as the resource, and then it's going to create the SOP based on that. Okay, so you see now it gives you a little more targeted results, but maybe it's not targeted enough. So what you want to do is really give it some context to your system. So in this case, I'm going to say I need SOPs for clients billing. I have clients who are recurring and one-off. We use Fluent Forms to collect one-time payments, Stripe for recurring, and then we also have an appointment calendar that we take payments for sessions too. So once I put that in there, then it's going to look at that and it's going to start to create better SOPs for you to work with. Now, keep in mind that this is AI based, so it is not going to be your process. SOPs are always a work in progress and need to be updated as frequently as needed. And this is a starting point. So at least it gives you something to start with. So in this case, it gives you the purpose, right? You need some kind of SOP for your billing. And then it gives you the scope. And you told it what the scope was. One-off payments for Fluent, recurring and Stripe, appointment fees collected through TidyCal. And then it'll start to give you rules and responsibilities and definitions. What's a one-off payment? What's a recurring? What's an appointment fee? And then prerequisites. Here's what you need for each of them. And then then it starts to get into the procedure itself. So two things that this can do for you: if you have SOPs, it can help you to find the gaps in your process. Maybe you're not running as efficiently as you should be, or that you want to do things a little differently, but it's a little overwhelming starting from scratch. If you don't have anything documented, then this is a great place to start. Now, the good thing about ChatGPT is you can use it as a working document. So let's say put this in a canvas. So we can collaborate. And then what it's going to do is it is now going to put it into what is called a canvas. This is an editable document. So then you can go up here to any section and either define more clarification or make the changes yourself. So we can say appointment fees collected through TidyCal using the Stripe processor. Okay, so what it'll do is when you add that, then it updates its memory so that when you make changes down the road, then it can also look at what you've added and factor that into the decision. And then what you can do is just go through and like even the definitions, let's just say, is there a better way to frame this for my accountant? And so when you do that, it's going to then give you, here's a little more detail of it. And this is from a perspective of an accountant. So the definitions can be used to driven accountant needs and responsibilities rather than just one-offs. Or you could say for definitions, I'm adding new team members who maybe are not familiar with English as a first language or are not familiar with normal accounting terms or whatever. And so you can continue to work with this and define this right in ChatGPT to make the changes. Now, if you're a Claude user or another, I'm not sure how Gemini handles this either, but if you're another user, won't make the editable changes like this, but it will give you version control. So you'll have version 1, version 2, version 3. So you can work with it, but it makes the changes instead of you being able to go in and make the changes yourself. And then when you're done, you can ask it to just say, this is good, this is a good start for me. And then it gives you next steps. Copy this into your repository, customize email templates and reminders based on this, and then schedule quarterly processes for review. Now, let's say I use Notion and I want this to be able to be put into Notion. So I can say now, can you give me a format that is copy and paste into a Notion page. And so what it will do is it will then give you Markdown, and it will give you a format that you can easily copy and paste into Notion. See, even has the client communication is in the code box that can be copied and pasted, and it puts it in a nice format, and it tells you, like, paste this into a Notion page and then go to step 2 and go to step 3, etc. So this is it in a nutshell of how one way that you can use AI to help your business and not replace you in your business. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. This is just for SOPs, but there's a lot of things. If you want to create the emails to go with the SOPs, you can ask it to do that. If you want to create maybe a chart of accounts, what's the best way to create a chart of accounts for my accountant? You can do that. If it is help me evaluate this or that tool, you can do that. So as you can see, there are a lot of ways that you can use AI, and not just to say, write me an article or write me this or create this. It is more or less look at the parts of your business that are taking a lot of time or keeping you stuck from moving forward, especially if you're a one-person business. What are some things that you can add to your processes that involve ChatGPT or Claude or any AI engine to help you to just streamline everything and make it easier? If you have SOPs, you can even put them in and say, review it and tell me what I'm missing. So there are a lot of ways that you can take it. You don't need to be afraid of AI, especially this isn't like something that is going to replace us tomorrow. It like the internet and like websites and like everything that has come before it, it gives us another way to harness the technology to grow bigger, better, and faster. So use AI as the tool and the resource that it is. Make your businesses better, automate, make it easier, and let me know how it works for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This isn't all about AI, but I do utilize AI a lot in my business to help me to create processes and streamline and automate. So if you like and subscribe, you'll get notification to those videos too. Thanks for watching.